York Regional Police have charged a Toronto man in a human trafficking case. Dozens of drivers in Peel have been ticketed following a distracted driving blitz. April's gun amnesty has been successful for Peel Police. Sun and cloud in the forecast, 20 degrees. This update is brought to you by Spark Clean Cleaning Services. Spark Clean Cleaning Services now on Groupon 289-383-3359. I'm Philip Hong from SR National News. Now here's Mike, Ray, and Rod with North American Harness Update on 20th Anniversary SRN1.
The starter has called the field to the gate. This field is in motion and approaching the start. And they're off. And it's a battle into the first turn for control. The battle continues by the half and approaching the far turn. Stride for stride past the three-quarter pole and approaching the top of the stretch. And as they hit the top of the stretch, it's Mission Brief, foiled again, Muscle Hill, Captain Treacherous, and Vegas Vacation. Lucky Jim, a rock and roll dance, be a magician. Sebastian K approaches the line. Guccio is coming late, and as they hit the wire, it's too close to call.
Now here's North American Harness Update on SRN1.
Well, you know what they say. And we all know who they are to begin with, but they say a certain thing. But that thing that they say is you may not be able to lead a horse to water, but beat him dead and nobody eats during the winter. I'm sure that's something that Rod, as a horseman growing up, you heard countless times from they, them, however you want to refer to them or they. But it's something that they just said, you know?
No.
Well, that's it. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of North American Harness Update. Not necessarily a North American adage update. However, this show does adage to... You see, I was trying to set up for like an add to, but I don't really know if we add anything. If anything, I take from. So that's...
Percolator.
That a percolator? Did you say percolator?
Calculator.
Oh, a calculator. No. I'm saying that I'm a parasite. That's how I took a personality test and that's what it said.
I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Which, I mean, I'm just glad that I passed the personality test. I don't want to be one of those people that fails a personality test. Of course, that's a Dan Mintz joke. Dan Mintz, also the voice of, you guessed it, Tina Belcher. These are facts no one cares about on a show about harness racing. That's for North American Bob's Burgers Update, premiering September 2026. But this is North American Harness Update. Why would it premiere never, Rod? See, that's strike one, all right? I'm keeping strikes now because I'm going to be a tough boss. Starting this moment, I'm marking this down, 9:03 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Ray becomes an authoritarian. That's right, you could say I'm a fascist. I mean, I think I dress well, but I'm putting my foot down right here, right now. That's strike one, Rod. Who want to know what happens when we get to strike three? I don't even know, but I just know it's gonna get violent. Don't test me. I'm not gonna give you strike two just yet, because that's what you want me to do. I'm the boss here. I got the smarts. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm the boss. It's because
Oh, there's a funny joke. That's a funny joke.
Because if you think of it like a staircase, I'm the escalator and you're the bottom step. That's how many steps ahead I am of you. But that's besides all of the points. Rod's just on strike one. That's a thin branch to tread on. With your low-bearing fruits. I got retweets already coming in saying, yeah, get Rod, yeah. I don't know why I'm so against you. You've done nothing wrong. You've been just a good friend to me. However, for the sake of showmanship, you understand that I have to create this conflict. It's nothing personal. It's the only thing that really keeps people interested. You understand that. That's why you're here. However, still strike one. I'll get rid of you if I have to. But this is
No, you won't.
this is a hardest racing show. You want to test me? Don't test. I just finished my semester of college. I'm not into tests right now. All right. But tonight on the show, which I wasn't here last week, so this is different. As for as much as I do this show, it never feels the same every week I do it, and that's all I had to say.
Next week is not going to be the same.
What?
Next week's definitely not going to be the same
Now, why is that, Rodney?
because we will be in Canada.
I don't know what that country is, but I know we're going to Canada. No, you pronounced it like an opera singer who. You pronounced it like an opera singer who's undergoing a tracheotomy, which, speaking of that, Mike Pribozie is not here at the moment because he's performing a tracheotomy on Frankenstein's monster, so he'll be back whenever. They got to find parts, and they just don't make parts for him anymore. So they got to ship him in from, like, Alibaba.com. You know what I mean, Rod? You know what that's a trope of comedians that I don't like, not to say that I am a comedian, because I'm always very serious. I don't tell jokes and that such. But one thing that really
while we're waiting on the 6th race to be official,
I'm wagging my finger.
Tell everyone what we're gonna do for the night, because we got a bunch of people watching right now who want to know what we're gonna do.
First things first, all pants come off. That's right. This is the pantsless show. Shirts may come next. Well, okay, then maybe shirts do have to come next. We need proof. Wait, no, we don't need proof. No, wait, no. Then we're gonna get our ad revenue pulled. All of our ad revenue that totally comes in that helps fund my dietary habits and Rod's cosmetic surgeries, his many cosmetic surgeries. He's slowly trying to make himself look like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's pretty far away right now. We're going to start a GoFundMe for him eventually. However, tonight on the show, we have London. You did say London, but you didn't say London specifically. You said race 6. We're waiting to go official because race 7 starts the late pick 4 at, if you want to be specific, the Raceway at Western Fair District. That pick 4, guaranteed pool, right? Is it a guaranteed pool? We've been covering it for so long. It's a $5,000 guaranteed pool, yeah. $5,000 guarantee. It starts with the 7th race with 16 minutes to post. Why do they have such a big gap? What?
Because they want us to do our analysis, that's why.
Oh, man, wow. I feel so honored after all of the weeks that they went off at 9:02:10 p.m. But we'll roll right into that as soon as I say what else is going on tonight, as I point in a direction that has nothing in it, just because I want to create the illusion that it does. So what else we have going on tonight is we have early pick 4 analysis for Saturday at Mohawk Racetrack. That's a $50,000 guaranteed pool. We have a preview of the 2 eliminations for the Confederation Cup, which, I mean, I can't believe no horse named like Abe Lincoln Hanover has won the Confederation Cup. However, Jefferson Davis Sealster has won before. But those are just fun little history tidbits that are actually not true. I'm lying. But I think that's everything. And if there's time, we might throw on some other stuff. But of course, I can't be forgetting this, Rod. I can't be forgetting this. We got the Harris brothers coming on at a certain point. Jay Harris just won the 6th race.
Watching right now.
Jay Harris
just jumped on. He's watching right now.
He just won the 6th race at London. We can keep talking over each other if you want. I hear my sentences sound a lot better over yours. That's at least just the feedback I've gotten. And feedback I do mean. But we also have Andrew Harris, who is, I mean, you could Harris, the two kind of, you think they go together, but then again, it's like everyone who's named Smith isn't necessarily related to one another, but they all are because we all go back to Genghis Khan. Didn't think I'd bring Genghis into this. Didn't think I'd. Oh, there he is. Jay Harris, already hopping on. How you doing, Jay?
Good, you guys?
Oh, we're amazing. You're even better. You're 2 for 2 on the night.
I'm hanging in
Yeah,
there.
it's a good start to the night.
Wait, start? You think you're gonna do better?
Yeah.
Well, clearly that's why you said that. First thing I have to say, Jay, is it just Jay?
Yeah, just the letter J.
No, it can't be. No, it's got to be Jack. It's Jack.
No, that's my dad. My mom made it difficult, and she just wanted to make it one letter so that guys like you give me a hard time.
Well, Ray's kind of speechless right now, but I heard the guys at the other end of the driver's room over there talking smack, like they always do.
Yeah.
I saw Colin Kelly was watching because he's obviously not driving. He's got like half a drive all
We'll
night.
get him on. We got the
Jay Harris is slowly walking
How are you?
out of Colin Kelly.
Well, we saw you were watching about 5 minutes ago. We figured you were probably done for the night. You drove half a horse. You win.
A half a horse.
Yeah. You drove.
It was
you,
1 to
well,
5. How is it a half a horse?
Because
well, it was a
it's
good
only
horse, but you just had to half-ass drive him. You just had to half-ass drive him. You didn't have to do anything.
I didn't have to do anything.
No, just point him.
Who's this guy?
the drivers are talking with one another. I, however, read books. This is out of my element.
We're all talking. We're all talking.
Okay.
Are you not even watching video?
We didn't see you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you see me.
Yeah, we're live on the air right now, just so you know.
we got a great close up of Scott Young's double chin right now.
And a shocker, he knows who I am.
Yeah.
Oh, after I saw you fall off the horse heading to the post parade, how could I forget you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what a real driver eats.
Well, what are you eating?
Oh,
It
nothing.
looks like cat food.
I get enough now. I get enough.
All right, we're back to Jay Harris now. We're back to the real driver. So Jay,
How doing?
you're participating in. I'm not getting to the drives. I want to get to the trotting for charity thing because you're driving for a cause now.
No, we're not talking about that yet.
Why not?
Andrew's not on.
Oh, is Andrew going to come on at the same time?
Yes.
Oh, we'll get him on at the same time.
Oh, all
He's
right.
about done learning horses.
Okay, well, by the way, for those of you who want our pick fours, the graphics are up. We're probably not going to talk about them if Andrew hops on. But Jay's got to go
Oh, he'll
soon.
be on after 9:30, I think. Yeah. He's
Okay,
probably
well,
warming up.
Okay.
well, you can all see our pick four graphics right now. They're up. They're on our live feed right now. So, Jay, let's talk about the two you have in the 9th and 10th.
Yeah.
So I hit the all button in the 9th race because I thought the race was just
Because he doesn't know how to read.
Well, let me just grab this program.
Jay's trying to remember which horse he's driving, and then he tell you to single him.
yeah. He's got Tavern Tails in the 9th race.
Oh, I
the
like
5
Tavern Tails. She's a sweetheart.
Guys, this is a rare sighting of Jay reading program.
Hold on. I gotta transition back.
I'm trying to figure out who that is.
That's Travis Henry.
Ah,
That's Travis.
Trevi.
Yeah, that's Travis Henry. He should focus on reading the program.
Well, I gotta tell you, Jay, you've only pointed your horses to the front twice tonight, and you've only had 2 drives.
Yeah,
Well, to be fair, Callie Magoo can't race any other way.
I'm on it.
We're hearing some subtle
So,
things.
yeah, they're talking. All right, so what do you like in the 9th race? How do you think this is an all race?
I didn't like any horse in particular in the race. I thought the
Really? I
race was
think
wide
that-
open.
that stands out.
In the 9th, as the handicapper of this panel, I'd like to say that in the 9th race, the one thing I had a concern with the horse you're driving is that she always comes from off the pace, and especially with how the track's been playing. So I'm kind of curious if you think she can do it both ways.
I could leave with her, yeah. I'll tell you what I did last week. I had the 8-hole at Flamboro,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried leaving with her, and it didn't work out for me. But she's got the 5-hole. I think she'll be all right. Like, I do like that mare. She can close really good. And I mean, nothing in here is going to close stellar.
Well, I guess one thing I do want to know too, because you are a driver, right? Yeah, you're a driver. Okay, I gotta make sure sometimes, because when you interview people, you sometimes forget who they are, so you gotta read. It's mostly for me. But when you're looking at the program, what exactly do you look for in your horse relative to the rest of the field?
I want to know what everybody else is doing. I want to know who the drivers are driving the horses, because drivers all have tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know what kind of trainer they're driving for, and their form. If they've been winning, I mean, you look at the 9th race. Just Blitz has been ultra consistent. She's top 3 usually every start.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be tough. Now you look at the one I'm driving. My trainer's only had her twice, 2 starts.
Mm-hmm.
And he's batting 285 average, which isn't stellar, but I think he's a relatively sharp horseman. So I think it'll be an interesting race. And I look at the fact that Travis is driving Just Blitz, so he's going to roll it. And I just hope he goes fast.
I looked at the race.
Okay.
And
Mr. Allbutton.
Just Blitz obviously is probably the horse to beat. Going to be a short price. Has been razor sharp, but I mean, it is 3rd start for Pat Shepard. But she hasn't faced Hawaiian Drummond, who had no chance last week. Your horse comes from off the pace, and there's some inside speed in there. So there's a lot of variables. I just hit, I like 5 different horses in here I thought had a chance if certain scenarios played out, and the sloppy track makes it even more of a variable. Even Nadia Can Go now is a contender.
Whoa. You might be a little careful there. Nadia Can Go could win the race. Ooh, that's ballsy. That's a ballsy call, Rodney.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could attest this too, Jay.
In the sloppy track, I'm telling you.
Nadia Can Go 0 for 16 though this year. Jay's raced against her so many times. You probably think the same thing. Like, Nadia Can Go? More like Nadia Can't Go. Is Jay still there?
Can you hear us, Jay?
Oh, I think. Oh, maybe they're talking secrets.
I think Jay froze up. Jay, if you can hear us, back out of the call and then come back on.
Jay, if you can't hear us, you smell. That's mostly just because it's muddy out. No one smells good after the mud. You've driven in mud before.
Oh yeah.
That was just. For those of you who don't know, I'm doing little host tricks right now where it's just when there's nothing to talk about, even though we could be talking about this pick 4, you just slide dumb conversation that is meaningless into the show. Because you know what? It provides sound. That's a host trick, ladies and gentlemen. But this first leg, let's talk about this first leg since Jay is out in driverland. This race, we were totally different. And I definitely wanted to talk about this for that reason. Oh, that's because they're parading. Or they're getting ready to parade by the looks of it. So he probably had to go.
They're doing the Wall of Fame ceremony.
Oh. Well, whatever. Point being, you are 4.5 and Mike is 4.57. I don't know how you could use those horses. Like, as much as I wanted to beat Macapello in this race because he's been overbet and he's been racing subpar, I felt like because of the inside draw, he's forwardly placed and he gets into the mix. Or Evening Job leaves out because this horse has speed. But otherwise, I didn't think how the 4 or the 5 could get into the race unless it totally collapses.
Well, that's kind of what I was hoping for with kind of the way I looked at this race. The 4, I think, is in an okay spot. Drew further inside this week, has had some pretty bad posts recently. I thought raced really well last time. And if this horse gets that fast pace up front, then should be right there at the end. And then I also used the 5 Classic News. This one last time raced okay. Definitely a question mark because the horse has missed a couple weeks off the lane scratch. So, kind of got to be careful with this horse. But a lot of times with these off tracks, horses like this seem to thrive, and I'm going to give that one a big shot. Might be decent odds.
He's 4 to 5. He's 4 to 5.
Oh yeah, no, don't take those odds
No.
at all.
Evening Job is
But
7 to 1.
They're going to change.
Like, I only didn't take Classic News because of that lame scratch. The horse definitely looks like he needs a start.
It's possible, but those older class horses, they usually won't need a lot of work. So, one training mile would probably put him in enough shape to go with these horses again.
And then with the four's 21 to 1 right now. That last race to me reads as a very inflated performance, especially since they crawled home in 31 and change, and this horse just rode the rail the entire way. Doesn't seem like he'd get that kind of trip from post 4, which makes me not want to use. But he's the longest shot on the board, and if he wins, then I don't want to be the one that talked you off of him. I just don't see much form in the 4. I do, however, love that the 6, 2 starts back, had an equipment brake pulled up, and then last out gunned to the lead. And although he didn't wire him, he was only a length and a half away from wiring the field. That line just stands out from all the other ones because he's usually lagging off the pace or sitting or stalking. And the fact that he moved out for the front last time, and I was talking about this yesterday because it's a thoroughbred trick where you look for horses that show sudden speed, because that's usually a sign that the horse is starting to liven. He's starting to develop and have more form. And that's exactly what I see here with the 6, who is currently 5 to 1. And then Macapello, this horse I'm surprised is not the favorite, because he's been the betting favorite in his last 3.
I think he's going to get bet down to favorite.
Okay, Jay's back.
Sorry, boys, phone died.
Your phone died?
Yeah, I wasn't watching the battery on it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
When's the funeral?
Well, it was almost going to get thrown out, so.
Hey, no worries. I just bought a brand new freaking phone, a S9 Plus, and the damn hotspot doesn't work.
Yeah, no. I got the iPhone 10 and the battery sucks.
Well, iPhones all suck, so.
Yeah, maybe. I'm getting to feel that way, actually.
I only got a phone that listens to all my deepest, darkest secrets and then sells it to big corporations.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah?
That's all of them.
But what's really handy is, like, I could say, hey, Alexa, buy me Fritos, and then, like, 2 minutes later, I got Fritos in my house.
Yeah, I want to.
I think that's a great exchange for my social security number. But, Jay, you were talking about Tavern Sweetie, whatever that horse's name was, Tavern Cutie, Tavern Tassie, Tabernacle.
Tavern Tail.
I was getting there. You didn't let me get there. But you have a drive in the 10th race, too, don't you?
Yeah, I got one in the 10th. That one raced huge last week.
Oh, wait, that one's the Style Spotlight, right?
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah, she was giant.
Yeah, she actually was really good.
Where did that performance come from? Was she just feeling a lot stronger that time?
I think she just got front and she loved it.
I agree. My comments on the
steps on the
website.
front, and I think she loves being on the front. Some of it changes them. They'll try harder.
Yeah, my comment on the website was she looked like a different horse on the lead last week.
Yeah, 100%. And she felt good, like strong. She pulled me around the racetrack.
Well, you can't hold nothing anyway.
Yeah.
That's kind of the shock too, because Jay, for a person who just always guns his horses, or most of the time guns his horses, it's kind of weird to think you read the program, because it's like intuitively just go. That's what it seems like.
The horses I think will be good on the front.
Oh, okay.
If I'm driving one I don't think will do, I won't do it.
You just happen to drive most of the front horses then.
I seem to have labeled myself, so I get those kind of horses.
That's not a bad thing either, because you get live horses, you get live mounts, so
Yep.
it's one of those
On a
things.
half-mile track, everybody wants an aggressive driver. So.
Yeah, and you're getting live mounts right now. You got the average back up over 300 again.
Yeah.
It took a
Trying
couple
to keep
weeks.
it there.
Well, whatever that means. You get the paychecks. That's what matters.
Yeah, the paycheck helps, but you got to get the average to get the paycheck. 'Cause everybody sees the average, and then they'll use you.
It's really it's that dumbed down.
Yeah, I think trainers want to see somebody winning races. Yeah.
Hey Rod, maybe that's why you can't get drives.
Because I don't drive anymore.
Your average right now is 0.
It is.
That's not a healthy average.
Nah, Mike's a doctor. He could tell you want to get that average up to at least like 50 cc's.
Yeah.
Gotta get the liver checked out, you know. That'll help boost your average.
Jay, did you watch our broadcast a couple weeks ago at Vernon?
I watched some of it.
Did you get to watch the first ever live broadcast from the driver's point of view?
No.
You better go to it. It's like the last 10 minutes of the video. I drove one in the last race, and I had my camera on me,
In the race?
and we broadcasted it live.
Really?
Yeah.
So you showed the whole world you finishing last.
Fourth.
Oh, we got to check. That's good. We got to check.
Fourth is
Yeah,
the
there's
third
one
loser.
And did you drive good or did you drive bad?
No, I drove okay. I wanted to leave, but horse, when you get horses that are like 2 for 50, sometimes they just don't want to leave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look, Jay, look at this guy blaming the horse.
I think any horse can leave.
Yeah.
You're right. Whether they want to or not,
Yeah.
that's a whole different story.
Yeah, I agree actually.
So what do they say in the driver? You may be able to lead a horse to water, but if you really
already said that.
if you really carve them, you can get them to the front.
I don't know if I'd use those words. Yeah.
So next week we're gonna be at Mohawk.
Yeah, you're gonna be there?
Might be stopping at London on Friday night on the way up.
Why wouldn't you guys come up Wednesday?
Because our flight leaves Friday.
Oh. Well, they make flights for Wednesday too.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Rod, why didn't you tell me about this?
We're on a strict budget here. We don't have a lot of sponsors yet,
Oh, well.
so we
You
have
got the
we have
driving
to.
championship on Wednesday.
Well, Jay, I hear you got a 300 batting average. That means you probably got some extra money to spare.
Here we go. My phone's about to die.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. No. So what are you guys going to
Hmm?
We just had a show planned. We tried to figure out a date.
So you guys going to Flamboro
And-
Sunday for the Confederation Cup?
No, we're leaving.
No, we have to come back.
It's working like it's
Mike
not,
has
eh?
to work.
Yeah.
We're just going up to Mohawk. We're gonna screw around. We're gonna stop at London on Friday night and screw around with you
Oh,
guys.
I got Andrew text me. I'm going to text him back, tell him to hop on here.
Okay.
Jay Harris, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to get this feedback up here.
I know, I'm hungry too. Let's see here. This first slide. 30 seconds to post. I got to call this race.
Trying.
Up and like that, like I was saying, Macapella 4-5. There's no way this horse
No,
wasn't
I
gonna
want
be a favorite.
Northville.
Why don't you want Northville? Northville's a perfectly fine track.
I almost went there this week.
That's great. I would have seen you there.
Andrew Harris is on, but we've got 5 seconds to post
I
now.
don't think Andrew knows how to use his video.
Andrew, hit the camera button.
Andrew, according to your avatar, you're a little girl.
There we go.
I'm confused.
There
I couldn't figure out how to work it.
we go. All right, Andrew, hold on, guys. The 7th race is going at Western Fair. Ray's about to call it.
Yes, and I need to reach my zen. I have muted all of you. I have reached Zen. This field for the 7th at London is in motion. 3-5 favorite here, the 2 Macapello. They are approaching the start. And they're off, really magnified, launching from the far outside, as does from the center Casimir Opie. As they move on to that first turn, really regally magnified, going to take the front from Casimir Opie, third from the inside. Then Finale Sealster, Macapello gets away fourth, ducking in fifth Tiguan Sealster, followed by then Classic News, Evening Job. Rounds out this field, moving to that opening quarter, regally magnified from post 7. Has a 2-length advantage here on Casimir Opie, then it's a gap of 3 to Finale Sealster third. Another length and 3/4, then Macapello's fourth through a 28-4 opening clip, circling that far turn first time. 10-1 here, regally magnified. In control by a length and a half. Casimir Opie sits a loose pocket second. Finale Sealster gaps from them third. The odds-on favorite Macapello about 5 lengths off the pace setter, sitting fourth turning into the stretch first time. Tiguan Sealster then half in, half out, as is Macapello to her front. They're then followed by Classic News second to last. Evening Job still the trailer on past the half in 58-4. 30 seconds that second quarter to the clubhouse turn. It's regally magnified in control, pulling from fourth. The favorite Macapello with Tiguan Sealster on her back to the backstretch. Classic News third over as Tiguan Sealster ducks to the rail now. They still got a catch though. Regally magnified down to the 3/4. Casimir Opie sits second, gapping third Finale Sealster. Outside Macapello not advancing, 4 lengths off the lead. Classic News second over on that cover, locked in then Tiguan Sealster. Evening Job trails 128-3 around the final turn, regally magnified in front. Casimir Opie yet to pull from second. Outside Macapello trying to take third from Finale Sealster. Classic News tips 3 wide from the back as they turn for home. Regally magnified is led from the start and he extends the lead narrowly to 2. Outside now pulling, here comes Casimir Opie deeper on the track. Macapello lines coming, regally magnified holding on. Casimir Opie regally magnified by a half length. Second and then Casimir Opie, Macapello down the center for third.
Not a bad job.
I forgot those were mares.
How the 4 lose off that trip?
Because the 4 sucks.
Yeah, okay.
Is that not clear?
We're back. Well, we're back with Andrew Harris and Jay Harris and Ray Cotolo.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say my name? I'll fight right here, right now, in my North American Harness Update apparel, which you can get on NahooPicks.com for affordable prices. All the fashion kids are wearing them.
Pink. Okay, so we've got Andrew. Where are you at? Are you in a golf cart?
No, I'm actually at the Meadowlands. It's actually their starting car.
Oh, you got a new job.
Yeah. I'm looking for a new starter.
Training wasn't working out, I guess, especially since Cruising in Style was third in that sire stake. I needed her to win, man. I needed him to win.
53 was a bit much for the first start.
But for the second start?
First start.
I know, but for the second start, I'm already looking forward.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it too. Now it'll be tight.
Who's farting right now?
I like Andrew's currently got like the grandpa selfie pose. Get in here, gang! All of my friends.
He's trying to get a skinny side.
He's trying to get a skinny angle.
It's all selfies.
We've got a little bit of business to talk before we screw around some more.
Yeah, first off, who's the favorite child?
Oh, my brother for sure. Look at him. Look at that shit-eating grin on his face. You almost die a couple times. You automatically inherit fucking being the favorite.
But Rod,
well, that's kind of common. The baby of the group gets babied.
Yeah. No, I'm actually older.
You're older?
Technically.
He's 56 seconds older, and he enjoys every 56 seconds of it. At least I beat him at something.
Hey, you lasted longer than me, but what you guys are doing? You're in a little event with Ryan Macedonio, driving for a cause. Except you, Andrew. I guess. How come you don't drive? That's a question.
Well, look at the size of him. You see that belly? I've invested heavily in that, and I'm not just giving it away.
Well, I can see why you're such a good trainer. Once the horses have to lug you, anyone else is a gift.
It's a power car. I got strong stifles.
The whole ass end of them things is completely around. It's like a ball.
Oh, for sure. When Dave Miller and these guys hop on, they're like, "Oh, this is nothing."
But more specifically, you guys are in driving for charity, and that's the number 4 because Ryan is a really cool guy and he likes to break the rules. But you two, Andrew, I know you're driving for the Breast Cancer Foundation. Jay, who are you driving for?
Breast cancer, yeah.
Oh, now there's a reason behind that, of course.
Yeah.
You want
Andrew, why don't you tell us the reason?
My wife was diagnosed 3 years ago with breast cancer. She fought it for about a year and a half, and it looked like we had beat it. And then about 6 months ago, it came back in her lung and her thigh. So, now she's still fighting it. So now, any chance I get to support breast cancer, I will. I'd love to see it beat one day, and hopefully, in 10 to 20 years, they'll be able to get meds that can beat this stuff. But right now, they don't. So we got to support it as much as we can.
Absolutely, I agree 100%.
Would there be anybody that says I'm sorry, Rob. Would there be anybody that says I disagree with that? I disagree with your fight. I think breast cancer should take out everyone.
Somebody would.
Look, here's the thing I never understood.
No,
okay.
Beyond agreeing.
Yeah.
We've partnered with Louis Sorella and the Team to the Moon group at Western Fair. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We partner with them, so every pink shirt we sell, we donate $1 to that. So get the word out about that too. That way we can donate some more money to the breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good cause.
We support it 100%. And Jay, I'm sure you're on with Andrew for that specific reason as well.
I take that as a yes.
So you ain't even bro.
What's that?
So you ain't even listening, bro. I gotta repeat, you're not listening.
No,
so I know you ain't listening.
What?
You cut out on me.
Oh, I said, I'm sure you're using that charity for the same reasons.
Yeah, watching what Andrew and Amanda have gone through over the last couple of years, she's the strongest woman I know, and it really touches your heart to see somebody fight as hard as she has, and it's a sad thing to see a family go through this, and I wouldn't want to see anybody go through it. I give all the love and respect to my family. They've endured a lot, and they've continued to endure a lot, and it's not easy. So they've stuck together, and they've battled through this together, and they're my role models.
No, so
it's not an easy thing. I think we all know somebody that is battling or has battled with breast cancer, and we all know how it affects people.
Unfortunately, it's too common.
It's getting where it's hitting a lot of younger people now too. Where before it seemed like 50 to 60 was the range they were getting at. Now it's getting to be more common in your 30s, and that's a really scary thought, really.
I feel like part of that though is also because there's this trend of like storing your phones and such in like brassieres, for instance. Like that's not healthy.
I don't think that I know Amanda never did, so I don't think that that's I don't think that there's a rhyme for reason for it yet, and I think that that's just everyone wants to blame something, and unfortunately it's just something that hits, and I think it's in the genes, and we just got to fight it the best we can.
So how's Amanda doing right now? Is she doing treatments? What is she doing?
She's on chemo right now. She's going through the battle right now, so she's doing chemo, and there's no real change just yet, but hopefully in our next checkup we'll get a little bit more of a change, and then we can build on that. But right now we're just kind of still under treatment and no real, they're not really looking for progression just yet.
Well, hopefully it comes. We definitely send our thoughts and prayers out to you guys and Amanda for sure, 100%. We want her to keep plugging and get through it.
Yeah, and that's why you support charities like this, so that hopefully in 20 years from now maybe some young family doesn't have to go through this.
Exactly. Now off the heavy weighted stuff. You still got a couple in at the Meadowlands. We have to transition out of the heavyweight.
I was just about to say that. Andrew beat me to the fat joke.
You got to take the power out of the joke, so you got to say it first.
I knew I loved you for a reason, Andrew.
You still got a couple in at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, I'm up in this next one here with old warhorse that I've had for a long time now, and I love him to death, so hopefully he gets a little luck to it.
I was going to ask... Oh.
You were warming up, too.
Yeah, I was warming up earlier. So the cycles are real good tonight. Dave will feel light.
You're probably tired.
Oh, they make heavy-duty tires.
Heavy. Because like heavy.
Man, I should have supported the anti-bullying fucking campaign.
What does the money do for that? Yeah, the anti-bullying campaign. We pay off the bullies to stop making fun of you.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'd be down for that. That means we have money to fly places.
Right.
I'll bully all day if that's the case.
Not worried about my feelings.
Well, clearly because you eat them.
Anybody's worried about any of our feelings. We're all pretty much in the same boat. We're outcasts. We're outcasts in harness racing for you guys because you just talk shit all the time.
You guys are doing a good job. Great job.
That's a good job and a great job. However, I still feel empty inside. I should have.
Keep working at it.
I should have eaten more. And Andrew can attest to that.
Listen, I'll probably be in the Ben and Jerry's in about 2 hours. So.
Wait, they have actual stores?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
Why didn't we stop there when we were at the Meadowlands?
Wait, where
Did
is?
you see it at the Meadowlands a couple weeks ago?
Oh, Andrew knows where all the hot spots are. Cold spots.
I figured he's just going to go over to Reds. I figured Andrew was just going to jump over to Reds and not Ben and Jerry's.
No, I haven't been to Reds in ages.
Yeah, Andrew's a little old for that now.
Yeah, I'm past. The problem with it is the hour drive home from Reds. That's the problem.
Oh, especially when you're not sober.
Well, then I wouldn't drive.
That's right. That was, ladies and gentlemen, that Andrew Harris right here does not endorse drunk driving.
He's a politician, this guy. Uber. I've driven with him. He's a politician.
But
while we have you guys, because we still got you guys on right now, we want to know some crazy childhood story that you haven't told anybody at the racetrack.
Yeah. Does it involve one of you chasing the other with a tractor?
My dad thought it'd be a real good idea to go get those real heavy duty air pump pellet guns. The one shot pellet guns.
Oh, the airsoft guns.
So my brother decides to chase me through the house with it. I'm running through the kitchen as fast as I can go, and I'm just like this. I know he's crazy, so he'll shoot me for sure. So I gotta do something. And he's coming around the corner behind me. I open the fridge door to hide from it because I know he's just gonna shoot the fridge, and he shoots me right through my Achilles tendon.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
Andrew, if you were watching the video, Jay has been laughing the whole time. As soon as you started telling that story, he's cracking up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's not go down the only crazy one. I remember a time that I used to be able to beat the fuck out of this kid, and one day he had enough and he took a hammer to my fucking head.
And I ain't even lying. He knocked me the fuck out.
Well, don't beat people up.
You
And
know?
unless it's with a hammer.
You gotta stand up to your bullies.
That's
Now-
right. Anti-bullying.
Now, Andrew, as someone who gets bullied for being so handsome and great at everything, what kind of hammer in particular did you use to stand up to yours? It was like
Oh, I used a claw hammer.
not like a mallet.
Oh no, I went claw hammer.
Why not a jackhammer?
Well, if I could pull that out of my ass at any point and hit him with it, I probably would have.
I mean, you got a lot of room up there.
It's a good thing I'm not a woman here.
Well, that joke wouldn't work on a woman.
Yeah, because it's just called an IUD. But
Barred from TV forever.
that's why we do a podcast. This is already like the first rated R podcast we've done.
I would have dropped a lot of F-bombs.
Jay, you are literally the only one that drops F-bombs. Well, Mike dropped one. That was a few months ago. It was pretty funny though. But
I'm glad I'm the first at something.
well, we're not paying for the radio we're on in Canada, so I don't think our other platforms care.
Besides, Jay bats at a 300 average, so he has the money to afford it.
Yeah.
Andrew,
First time I've gotten this track.
Andrew's average is your average is like what? 178?
Yeah, that's about my weight about 3 years ago.
Oh, now we got a minute and a half to this race at London. I don't want to call this race when we got the Harrises on.
Well, I'm gonna bow out and watch this race here at Meadowlands for a little second here first.
All right, I'm going to commentate Andrew watching this race. So right now, he's walking. The phone's pointed up to the sky.
We're actually going to show this race on our feed because we have permission to show the Meadowlands on the feed. So
Isn't that nice?
they're at 0 minutes to post. And what post does your horse have?
I think the 6 or 7 hole.
That doesn't help. We can't root for both of them.
I don't have my program up.
One
7
thing
hole.
to note: Mike is alive in the pick four at London to the 1, 5, and 8. That's all.
You got the 7. You got purple just driving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
Now if we go over there.
Jay, you guys have the Meadowlands up over there? You got Mohawk up.
Well, I think on a hunch play, you got to bet Miller time at London in the 8th race.
Oh god. I can't believe there's horses named Miller Time. Like that's such a 90s commercial.
What's wrong with that?
It's old. I'm young. I fight old things. I can't pull up this
I
race.
said I like the 5. I do like the 5 at London. I think the 1's got a shot.
I was
Long shot player. The long shot player in this race might be the 2.
I was 1-3-5-8 in the second race or the second leg.
Do you guys ever get to pick 4?
Oh yeah.
Jace,
Well, if you looked at NotNoPicks.com, you would have saw last week I hit 5 of them at Western Fair.
All I know is I keep looking and you're not picking me.
You ain't looking. You're a damn liar.
besides, I hit the pick 4 March 14th of this year at the Meadowlands. That was my last one, but it was a good one.
No, I hit for like over $900 last week on pick 4s at Western Fair. So
Oh, good for you.
yeah, keep talking your smack there, Jay
Wait,
Harris.
Andrew said he was.
We'll see how much smack you're talking next week when I come up there.
We'll see how big you are.
He's not that big,
We're
Jay.
the same size, bro.
Jay, Jay, I'm
You ever
bigger
see a
than
Jack
him.
Russell Terrier? You're fucked.
I'm bigger than him, Jay, and I'm not big.
The only guy I don't live up to anymore is my brother. Actually, Jay just had a rocky moment last week, didn't you? Oh, we're not going to get into that.
He's like a little Jack Russell Terrier. Got a lot of bark. Yeah.
A lot of bark, no bite.
You know, it really is uncanny. You look at Jay Harris, and then you look at overweight Jay Harris. It's incredible.
You know, that's my future if I don't watch my diet.
I guess he's a good role model in that case.
Listen, every time I look at ice cream, I think about my brother, and I don't eat this. Man, I came on here for a lot of abuse.
I mean, we could be giving you more. At least we're giving you the easy stuff. We aren't like critiquing your character.
Well, I think Miller Time's about to win.
Well, it looks like Andrew's not about to win, but his race didn't go yet.
Yes, they're turning again. I don't know what's going on. Somebody's not turning, I'm assuming.
They realized that we were broadcasting this race, and then they're saying, "Oh, let's have some fun with these guys. Let's wait 20 minutes for this race to go." They don't got anything to do.
No, we just got to race horses.
Well, you guys do. I got to bet which one of you is going to be good.
Yeah. So here's a question that you probably haven't been asked yet.
Oh.
Between both of you, do you ever have competitions? Because Andrew, you got a lot of race horses, and Jay, you drive a lot of horses. Do you ever have win competitions?
We had a competition last year. It lasted halfway through the year, and I gave up.
Really?
Flew by me in the money, and I just gave up.
Oh, of course. That's what you get for racing at B tracks. You can't compete with Andrew in that case.
No, not even close. I think he had like 5 times the amount I did. It wasn't in the same league. He's a heavyweight. I'm a fucking flyweight.
Here's a question though. How come, Jay, you don't necessarily leave your home base? Because you have the opportunity to go drive for your brother at places like Yonkers and such.
He won't use me. How does he use me when he's using guys like Purple Jesus?
Oh, I was putting you up there, but I mean you could take yourself down. That's fine.
Maybe one day.
Right now, Andrew's horse thinks that he's on board. He's going right to last.
We're rooting for Andrew right now at the Meadowlands. Got away last.
Southern Pursuit's in front. Okay, Southern Pursuit's leading. Second then is Lodi Machete Man. Meadowland Jate is third. 27-3, okay. He's sitting off at 27-3. Pantaleano, another one that just sends everything. Coming up to the half, it's still Southern Pursuit. I'm doing this for the radio people. Southern Pursuit's in front, and Lodi Machete Man sitting second. First over now is King's Barnes. I mean, second over is going to be Love Tap Hanover. Andrew's horse is not third over. He's staying to the inside. That's possibly good. As King's Barnes is backing up. First over, Meadowland Jate is moving up to challenge the leader, Southern Pursuit. The half was 55-1, so Fill Your Boots is sitting off a fast pace. Room opens for Rebel Jet to tip out. The Southern Pursuit's in front, 23-2, the 3/4. Miller's showing Fill Your Boots the whip. He's got about 4 lengths to make up. He might be able to get a check here. Southern Pursuit's leading. Lodi Machete Man's chasing, as is Meadowland Jade. Fill Your Boots is going to get up for 4th. That glorious 4th place check in a $6,000 race. He's 4th. 51-1. He came about 27 and change then.
He's still smiling, so that's a good sign. Oh, there's nothing you can do when you're sitting at the last there on those fractions.
It's definitely.
Yeah, you didn't have the best of trips there, but I mean he drove pretty conservatively, which isn't a bad thing going into next week.
Wait, what's next week?
I mean, this is a race horse. I'm not worried about next week. I'm worried about this week.
Yeah, well, I don't even know what's next week.
Next week's another race because you got a horrible.
Sounds like another $6,000 race for him.
Yeah, another $520.
Oh yeah, that pays the bills. Do you see this man? That lasts him a week.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, I know there are better jokes to make.
You know, it's all right. I'm just gonna rally every fat guy to go around to your show and just like sit there and just send your hate mail. I'm gonna go on Craigslist right now. I'm gonna write down, hey, Ray Cotolo's got a bunch of Justin Bieber tickets for sale. Here's his number. Call him.
Is that how you get overweight people to message me?
Yeah.
What?
All right, guys, I gotta roll.
Yeah, Jay's gonna go drive. Andrew's
We'll let you guys go.
gotta try and win a
Thanks
race.
for
All right, thanks, guys.
Definitely going to do it again next week, Jay.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, we'll see you Friday.
All right, take it easy.
Andrew, good luck. Tell Amanda we said good luck, and we hope
Thanks,
everything
Yep.
pans out.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Andrew and Jay Harris. Hopefully, everyone listening from the Bible Belt wasn't too offended by that conversation.
Eh.
Because, that is our core demographic.
I I don't know if anybody has noticed, but my chair has been lowering itself throughout the evening, and I was down to like where my chin wasn't even like on camera.
Well,
I just had to adjust my chair again.
Rod, that's information that I was definitely interested in knowing, and I'm sure everyone watching is glad to also know that.
They might be. You never know.
But that said, we're going to get ready to go to break. Jay and Andrew Harris just on. They're part of the Trotting for Charity event happening May 18th through 20th at tracks across North America, organized by the Ryan Macedonio. And you can catch Jay driving that weekend either at London, Flamboro, probably one of those two, and then Andrew has horses across the eastern seaboard at the Meadowlands, Yonkers, Poconos, so on. However, we're getting ready to go into the second hour of this show. Who won the second leg of the pick four at London? Was that Miller time?
I'm showing the replay right now.
Okay. Oh, you want to show the replay? I'm
watching the replay right now.
Oh.
It's on the live feed.
Okay, do you have the live feed up?
Yes.
Okay, well, Just Blitz leads past 3/4, 131-4, popping pocket. Miller time. It's not Just Blitz in front. Top of the stretch. I'm looking at the 9th race. 8th race leader made to lead. Could you think that one? What a coincidence. Miller time to the outsides trying to get by. Made to lead. Leads the way. Miller time coming at him, but made to lead 52-1. Wires them over Miller time. And Faxor Theory striking Nike. Stonebridge Brass. I'm just reading the rundown. Massive, impressive. Yeah. Barbie Doll. Impressively done. Impressively last. Okay, so I can take it. Nobody has the pick four after that. 52-1.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Carry
over.
And what?
Carryover.
Oh, carryover. No, I thought they just pay out. I don't think they carry over.
No, they carry over.
Oh, okay.
And there is a card at London on Sunday, a Mother's Day card, a matinee. So we will have full card analysis at NahooPicks.com. Check it out. Look at Ray's boobs. He's trying to show you his nips.
I don't like that you're objectifying me like that.
The
I'm not in entertainment to have my looks be my cornerstone. That sentence was going somewhere and then I lost it. I think it's just because I haven't shaven in a week. But second hour's coming up. We're gonna go to break. What's happening in the second hour, Rod? Well, I'm glad you asked. We have the early pick four to talk about for tomorrow night at Mohawk, and we also have the the Confederation Cup eliminations over at Flamboro Downs for Sunday. There's 2 of them. Who can we get some prices? Last year, I know I snagged some. Western Fame, hello. But stay tuned for all of that and more coming up in hour 2 of the internet's favorite harness handicapping show. After having Jay and Andrew on, you can tell why we're the favorite, because we allow F-bombs. Coming up more. All of that and more coming up in the second hour. Stay tuned for that here on North American Harness Update, videoed across the world and broadcasted live on SRN1.
When the time comes, move with the season, lend your young ear to the sound of day. When the time comes, move with the feeling, lend your young ear to the sound of day. Time comes, move with the seasons, lend your young ears to the sound of day. When the time comes, move with the feeling, lend your ears to the sound of day. In our place, winter's time, stretch the sunlight on our minds, bringing life to the sunrise, waiting on some skies to fly. Take the arrow, make it our never. Take the crystal from me now, always see. Leave the bullet the secret through the night now, make the white, make your plans of golden crimson moonrise.
Fulapong, Woodbridge. York Regional Police have charged a Toronto man in a human trafficking case. Alexander Roberts, 20 years old, stands accused of multiple charges related to a case where underage females were trafficked in a sex operation. Police say they are willing to speak to anyone in the sex trade who are looking for a way out or need assistance. Roberts will appear in Newmarket Court later this month. Dozens of drivers in Peel have been ticketed following a distracted driving blitz. Peel Regional Police say 75 charges have been laid against motorists in Brampton and Mississauga during the last week of April, which is also called Distracted Driving Awareness Month. Officers remind people that the penalty for distracted driving is a $490 ticket plus 3 demerit points. April's gun amnesty has been successful for Peel Police. Officers covering Brampton and Mississauga say 34 unwanted firearms were turned in, 689 when combined with other forces across the province. The OPP says the majority of the unwanted firearms were destroyed, while some were kept for historical, educational, or training purposes. The weather, sun and cloud, 20. I'll have more news and updates on SRN1 for now in Fulapong.
Thank you, Phil, and welcome back to more of the Backstreet Boys musical. I am the best Backstreet Boy, Donnie, joined by Mike Pribozie and Rod Allums Jr. Mike Pribozie, of course, joining us for the second hour. He's got time to. How's it going, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be here.
All right. Well, maybe we should get rolling right into some of the second hour action, including... well, to note, the late pick 4 at London. Rod, did you happen to catch how much money is live?
I did not.
I'd imagine it's next to nothing. However, the ninth race. The ninth race is going post. The ninth race is going poster at London. We can cover that, or we can roll right into the Mohawk pick 4 because none of us are live at London right now.
Is anyone live at London?
That's exactly. I don't know. However, I'm getting a nice glimpse at Rod's kitchen, and I do have to say it's
$22,
nice
$107.
Yeah, 56 to 1 shot wired him.
Wow, that's crazy.
That horse is such a hunch bet, though. His name was Made to Lead, and he went all the way.
We're doing Mohawk tonight.
Tomorrow night. Their early pick 4, which has a guaranteed pool of $50,000. It starts with the 4th race. Very intuitive because like pick 4 and 4, it's a match made in whatever heaven you believe in. It's a 9th race field to start off this sequence. A non-winners of 4,000 the last 5. I'm just rolling into this. It's post time at London. We can catch that. Rod, actually make a decision for me. We're going to do London or we going to Mohawk? London, Mohawk.
Mohawk.
All right. 6 to 5.
You got Mike on.
6 to 5 on Just Blitz at London. We can cover that later on. But this pick 4, again, starts with the 4th race. 9 horses going postered here. And, Mike, this race is a lot of class droppers, this is basically bottom level bunch here. What do you see?
Give me 1 second, Ray. I'm almost there.
Oh, all right. Well, then, Rod, if that's the case.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Good.
Okay. So I was 3 deep to start here. This is Saturday, race 4. I like. Let's see. I think I like the 7. He's a sensation who raced well last time had no chance against his boy Elroy last time. That race was dominated by that horse on the front. Prior to that, the horse closed for second, raced well in there. I thought, had a decent chance to close in this race because there's a lot of false speed. The 4 East End, this horse gets a drop and, is used to racing up close, bad post, Osceola. I didn't mind the last race because 27-1 against a race that had no backflow whatsoever. The 3 Mac Raider has a chance, especially in the lead with Wah. This horse won at Flamboro last time from the rail, but Moreau's starting to get better again. So I was those 3, 4, and 7.
Rod, you're somewhat on board with that. I see a 5 in your contenders.
Yeah, I'm 3 deep here. I'm going with the middle 3 horses. Start with the 4 East End. Raced well from the 10-hole last time. Just too far back, had no chance to get there. Raced really well. Was big odds, but the class drop should help. The 5 bet on Brett. This one's second start over the surface this year. Pretty green horse. Made a lot of money as a 2-year-old. Not so much last year. Had some issues. Come back this year. Has been okay. 3 wins and 9 starts this year against, kind of cheap horses down at Pompano. But that first start back up in Canada, I didn't mind that start. I think he needed it, being off 3 weeks. Gets back on a regular rotation. And I think this horse has a shot at big odds and could follow some cover or end up leaving and trying to trip out. And then the 6, Sunny Beach Day. I use this one as well. This is another closer. Has shown speed in the past, but this one makes sense. Trevor Henry. Looks like this horse is going to be in a good spot and, paced that last time in 56. So this horse has been racing very well for several starts now. So I'm going to go ahead and use that one, 4, 5, 6.
I'm too deep to start off this sequence. East End, I definitely agree with. He's the only horse here that I really do like contender-wise. The one I use otherwise, I'm kind of back and forth on. He definitely shows some good form. However, with East End, I honestly think you could single this horse just because that last race isn't. That last race is really good for the 10 hole. He draws better. He's going to be forwardly placed, and if this horse gets the lead, I'm sure Mac Raider has speed, but if East End gets the lead, that's his preferred style, and he could potentially wire him. But that said, the other horse I throw on is the 2 print media, who comes in off a decent performance against conditioned stock at Woodbine last out. He pulled first over after sitting off of a fast clip, and then he kind of hanged a bit. He ended up finishing 4th, but placed 3rd after some interference by my guess of it. Before that, he won over at Flamboro, wiring the field. He too has speed. The one issue is that he did hang last time, but it was probably because he was sitting off of such a fast pace, and it's probably not going to happen this time around, so he'll be able to stalk a bit more of a sensible tempo. So I'm 2-4 to start off that sequence. Moving on to the second leg, hopefully, which is a non-winners of 16,000 their last 5 pace. Purse of 22,000 here. 9 horses lining up. These are some of the better horses on the grounds. And 5, you got 5, Rod? 5 what?
No, hold on.
Hold on.
9th race at Western Fair comes 7, 5, 1, 14 to 1, 5 to 1, 6 to 1. Nobody can possibly be alive right now.
I had the 7 third leg. Wait, that horse was 14 to 1? Oh, I should have bet him.
I had all there because I did not like that race.
I was 6, 7, 8 in that.
Did you have the first race?
No.
No.
God, how could anyone bet the 2 in that race?
I didn't have the 2.
I had the 2.
Anyway, go ahead.
The horse I had lost off a perfect trip.
Which is almost worse.
Race 5, Woodbine.
Race 5, Woodbine, 9 horses, and Mike, of those 9, who do you like?
I have 5 of them.
Oh, wow.
I think it's a tough race. The one, Cool Rock, he's just a really good horse that, tends to trip out sometimes. And, he can get it all at a big price. He won on March 31st, flying from the back at a big number. And he had won 2 starts prior to that. Then he kind of, stepped to that upper level and really had no chance. Was 3rd 2 back in a fast race. Last time was against Blatantly Best. Really, that's a tough horse. That's a preferred type horse. Better post here. And, I don't mind McClure on this horse. This horse was 4 to 1 last time against these. He's going to be higher tonight for sure. The 4 Resistance Futile looks decent here. This horse drops some numbers of 20,000. It just depends on what kind of mood this horse is in. But he has a ton of class. Made over 400,000. 26 and 1 home last time. And, he's a horse I think you have to use in the race, especially from this post. He's going to be flying late. The 6, Gin Shark. This horse is another preferred type that is racing at a little bit lower level. Has had bad post. Was 3rd last time from the 8 hole in that same race. I would think a little bit more speed here. The 7 I'd use defensively. Is it Friday yet? This horse won 7 in a row at Woodbine. Shipped here to Mohawk after weeks off and then was 2nd. Tough trip last time. Gets Wah back. A use for me. And then the 8 Shades of Bay. won 3 back that first start here at Mohawk, then stepped up to preferreds. Easy Lover Hanover wasn't winning that one. Ran into a really good physically inclined last time. Pretty much parked the entire mile, no chance. Have to use this one this time. 1, 4, 6, 7, and 8.
Rod, you're very close to that.
I'm very close to that. I don't use the 6, but I'm using the 1 with the rail advantage. This one should get away close. Last time, 2 starts back, this horse got away 3rd off the rail. And I think this horse seems to like getting that trip up close. Never really got out in that start, so I'm going to go ahead and use that one. The 4, Resistance Feudal. I really, really like that last race. Coming back half in 53-2. Just a huge mile. This one is going to be the price play probably of the night for me. If I make any bets tomorrow on the nose, this will be the horse that I bet. The 7, Is It Friday Yet? I think is pretty obvious. Drops back down. He beat these 4 starts ago and has been up in class since then. He hasn't won his last couple, but he hasn't tailed off either. So I think he's a definite play. And then the 8, Shades of Bay. I really got nothing else to add. This horse raced pretty well last time against Tougher and drops to a level where he definitely fits. 1, 4, 7, 8.
Worth noting at London, I'm pretty sure the 4, 8, and 9 pay the pool.
Yeah.
$6,200
for belong to that. Good luck to you.
For 20 cents. It pays the pool. Back to Woodbine. I'm 4 deep in this race. I agree with Cool Rock. The rail posted position definitely is an advantage. Is It Friday Yet? Should possibly improve. 3rd start here at Mohawk and dropping in class, as should the 8, Shades of Bay, dropping back down in class. However, I also throw on the 5, Cultural Paradise, stablemate here to Is It Friday Yet? This horse made his first start in a month at Mohawk, and admittedly, it was not of form, but again, it could have just been because he had a month off, and now he's making his 2nd start, albeit with a little bit more time in between. He at least chased horses home. He came home in 27 and change. He didn't crawl home in like 30-2, so he could possibly bounce off of that effort, especially given the form he showed at Woodbine before they moved over to Mohawk Park, and he could be a factor if that is the case. We're betting entirely on whether or not he does bounce, and possibly could be a good price off of that last race. Who knows? 1, 5, 7, and 8 for me in that 2nd leg. The 3rd leg is the 6th. Non-winners of 5 or 7, so everything but 6 in this condition here. We got 1, 2, 4, 9 going postward. Mike, of those 9, who's got your eye?
3 deep looks chalky to me. The 3, Southwind Tesla, has won 2 out of the last 4. Tough trips in the other 2 races. Likely favorite. Those were better horses this horse faced last time. Draw's perfect. The 1 to beat for sure. The 4, Cameron Hanover. This horse was a stakes horse last year and, crushed a similar field 2 back at 3 to 5. Then, stepped up against some of the better ones. Achille Duhara, Dream Together. This horse raced well in that race. That was April 30th. So missed a week because of the cancellation only. And, isn't a perfect post here. A definite use on all Maltese. And then the 6, Cadabra Queen. This horse won one of the super finals last year at 2 to 1. Was put away then. 2 qualifiers in April, then the first weekend in May, both winning ones. The horse has made $300,000. There's bigger fish to fry, obviously, but I think you have to pay attention to this one, especially if they have are ready to roll. So 3, 4, and 6.
Again, there's some overlap between you and Mike, Rod.
Yeah, I'm 4 deep here. The 1 I think is a definite play. This horse fits, gets Louis Wah back on. So I'm going to kind of dismiss that break last time. This horse shows speed, should be on the front or the 2-hole. I think is a definite use. The 4, Cameron Hanover, coming off a really good start, has been sharp over several weeks now. Actually impressed me with a 55 and 4 back half last time. Was really good there. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. Probably going to be a shorter price. The 6, Cadabra Queen, I think you have to use her just based on her class as a 2-year-old. It is first start of the year, but like Mike said, she's got bigger fish to fry, but I think she's going to duck and follow some cover here. And if they go fast fractions up front, you'll see her coming late. And then I'm going to go way outside to the 9, the This one's second start back out the long layoff and, missed 7 months. This one should improve. That was a really good start. First time out of the box, 56 and 2 back half, home in 28. You don't expect that first start out of a 4-year-old trotting mare. But, she's classy. She made over 100 grand last year. I'm going to use her and again, hoping that there's some pace up front. 1, 4, 6, 9.
I agree with the 1. I agree with the 4. I do agree with the 3 too, Mike, but I don't like Kadabra Queen here first time out. She usually is positioned too far out of the mix, and given it is her first start, I think she'd be worth going against. Although 6-1 on the morning line means that you're not really going to get much value not using her, at least potentially. But again, that's all speculative. Even though I take the 3 morning line favorites of the 1, 3, and 4. The 1, Highland Top Hill, can wire this field. There's not a lot of pace outside of her, so if she gets to the front, she could very well take them all the way, unless Southwind Tesla sits right behind. She has a good late closing kick, came home in 27 and changed, 2 and 3 starts back, so if she's sitting close to it, she could certainly pass, as could the 4, Cameron Hanover. Her late kick isn't as strong as Southwind Tesla's, however, she does have a win at this class level, 2 starts back, sitting up close, sitting third, and then coming home as the favorite to win in 55 and change. Those are the 3 main contenders. Not really much deviation outside of the obvious, except I'm not taking Kadabra Queen. 1, 3, 4 in that third leg. Final leg is race number 7. Now there's a 16,000 last 5. Filly and Mare pace. 8 horses going posted here, and Mike, finish it off.
Tough race. I'm 4 deep to finish. The 2 PL Hurricane draws well, and usually, this horse can control things, especially at this level from this post. 1 for 16 this year is concerning, but 9 other shares, won 8 times last year, gets McNair, and that's another positive, a definite use. The 3, the way you look tonight, I thought raced extremely well last time on the front. Really never looked like a loser, and last year, right around this time, this horse got good and routed off like 4 out of 5. The price is there too. I really don't mind that one, especially maybe behind the 3 early. The 4, She Wears the Pants. Very nice start. First time back off the layoff. Was second to Artistic Madison, who wanted a big price. This horse is legit. Back class. 10 wins last year. And good first start off that layoff with Wah. Another one that wants to be up there early. And then the 6, Lions River Pride. This horse, another one that won 110,000 last year. Comes off the layoff, might need a race, but the 2 qualifiers show that the horse could be live in here. And maybe if they duck a little, could get a setup with a lot of these speed horses and finish up. So 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Rodney, for you.
I'm 3 deep. Start with the 2 PL Hurricane. I love this mare. Especially on the drop. She hasn't been down this low since like January and that was or maybe it was December. She reeled off like 3 or 4 in a row right around this level. I remember, Mike, she beat you out of a pick 4 one night and kept me alive.
Indeed.
You remember that?
Yes, I remember the horse.
Way to rub it in his face.
Thank you, though. I'm glad you remembered that.
Right. But I thought she raced okay last week. Decent start.
She was good last week.
She's been right there every week against tougher, so the drop I think is going to help her, and the inside post definitely helps her. The 4, She Wears the Pants. Second start off the layoff. That's a big angle for me. Raced all right last week. Just sat the 2 hole, and that was against Artistic Madison. It was 2 weeks ago, but it was against Artistic Madison, who every time she's in this class, she's first or second. So I'm going to go ahead and use her second start back. And then the 5, Jewel on the Beach. This one's first start back. Missed about 5 months, but really, really good qualifier on that second qualifier. So I think she's ready. And against this group, she should be put into position, following the 4 the whole way. And that makes her a threat to me, 2, 4, 5.
Ray is still frustrated he didn't have that 14-1 at London, but Ray does have this final leg of the pick 4 at Woodbine, Mohawk Park. 3 deep for me to cap it off. The 5 Jewel on the Beach starts me off here. She qualified well second time out after breaking in her first time. I like to see improvement like that. It means horses are going in the right direction. And you also look at some of her lines from the end of last season. She capped it fairly decently. Was also racing at this class level with a win. 2 starts back from the inside given, but she seems to be coming into form off that qualifier and could potentially be sharp here. The 6 Lions River Pride for the same reason. She has more back class than the 5 though. Was up against Philly in her preferred competition back on December 8th. Was 3rd there against LA Delight and Witch Dally. LA Delight, of course, a stakes caliber mare. I just dropped my pen. But Lions River Pride comes in off of 2 sharp qualifiers as well. One in 58 at Flammy, the other one in 54 at Mohawk. Just improving and seems to be in decent form coming back. But then the third horse I used, I'm surprised neither of you guys did, is the 7 Forever Liza, who's been moving up the class ladder. Last start was bet to be the favorite, broke around the turn at the quarter, and came back still to finish 4th. That line really stands out. Now she's making her second start at this level. She seems to be moving in the right direction, getting better and better with each start, and could potentially be a price because of that break. And that's going to be value given the fact that she's taken so much play otherwise as she's made her way up the class ladder. So I'm 5, 6, 7. Going to try and beat the 2 PL Hurricane, presuming she's just one of these class duds that drops in class and doesn't show much, which makes my ticket go.
Be tough in there. Be real tough.
I've seen horses like her before, but then again, I've seen horses like her win, so it's a double-edged sword. However, my pick 4 goes like this. For 20 cents, I'm 2-4 with 1-5-7-8, with 1-3-4, with 5-6-7. $19.20 for 20 cents. Mike, your ticket.
3, 4, 7 with 1, 4, 6, 7, 8 with 3, 4, 6 with 2, 3, 4, 6, 36.
And Rod.
4, 5, 6 with 1, 4, 7, 8 with 1, 4, 6, 9 with 2, 4, 5 is 28.80.
And you will be able to find these tickets up tomorrow as the early pick 4, approaches at Woodbine, Mohawk Park.
There's no comma.
What do you mean? No, you haven't read the press releases.
He's all right. Let him put his comment in.
The press releases have listed it as.
I think he puts the comma in just so he can validate it on the show.
What? No, I don't write the press releases. That's how it's been published. It's just Woodbine Mohawk Park. I would have liked just Mohawk.
Yeah.
Yes, I would have liked it also.
I think we all would have.
However,
but what do I know?
2 minutes to post at London for the final leg of this pick 4. We're going to pull this race up. Can you get it for us, Rod? Thank you very much. Well, I said thank you very much. I was presuming you had it. And
there's only 6,200 in the pool tonight.
Well,
takeout.
The takeout.
Yeah, I mean I get that, but
yeah,
takeout's 14% or something. Yeah.
There's actually 30,000 in the pool.
30?
No, there's not.
No.
I was making the takeout like 80%.
There was about 8,000.
Come on, that's not that high.
I know it's
no,
not.
There's about 8,000 in the pool.
Only 8,000 tonight. That's light for them.
Well, Canterbury also just opened.
Oh, that's what's eating into the handle.
Yeah. Have you been in the business long enough? Canterbury eats handle.
Oh, that's like okay.
Well, 50 seconds to post here. We had Jay.
It's been a very long day, boys, and I'm going to be gone here pretty soon, I would think. As soon as this phone rings.
All right. Well, Jay Harris was on earlier talking about.
I missed that. Was that fun?
Oh, that was. Yeah. We were making jokes at Andrew's expense, although I should have aimed more up the belt than below his, which he had to tear a new hole in. No, come on, I'm still doing it.
What did you do? Did you piss him off? Like what happened?
No, we were doing the man things.
Are they going to be around at Mohawk next week?
They'll be at London. Well, Jay will be at London. Andrew's gonna.
We're gonna be in London Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
Or no? Okay. Well, that should be fun.
10 seconds to post
here. Try to drive one Friday, depending on what. Will we be there on time or no?
We might.
What are you doing? I mean, why do I have to come up with all these things for you?
We might be there on time. I didn't schedule anything because I don't know if we're going to be there on time.
It's post time at lunch. That's true because
late race would be good, like around 10:29 p.m. That would be good.
Yeah, we'll be there for that.
Yeah.
The gate is calling the field. 2-1 here on Style Spotlight. Jay Harris was talking about this one early on. Sent her to the front last week. Seemed to like it. Got to presume that's what they're going to do again. BJ Savannah's 11-1. That's worth a play.
The 9's 2-1. I think that's probably the best play.
I think BJ Savannah is overlooked here.
Second off the layoff. The 9 is the horse I like the most.
10-1 though on the 8. I cannot dispute.
Okay. I mean, I
now 9-1 because I put my money in.
There, but
they're lining up. 2-1 favorite, the 4 Style Spotlight. Second choice at 5-2. The 9 leader of the pack. Field in motion for the nightcap, and they're off. And Trotting, leaving out PC Heisenberg, as is Cold Beer here, and Sentinel Sealster to his outside around the turn. Cold Beer here, parking Sentinel Sealster to that first quarter. Getting away third, then comes PC Silent Drive in front of leader of the pack fourth, as now Sentinel Sealster clears the top as they move on to the back stretch. Off stride in the back there appears to be Scott Coulter on whoever he was driving. The mud really blurs out the lines as they go on to that opening panel. Now clearing front. Cold Beer here on the outside. Style Spotlight parked and advancing up to her wheel now. Third, then Sentinel Sealster from PC Silent Drive. Fourth, turning into the stretch first time as PC Silent Drive moves up to catch the cover of Style Spotlight. It's in a contested lead here coming to that half-mile station. Cold Beer here to the inside. Outside Style Spotlight. Sentinel Sealster gaps at the rail third, then back fourth. PC Silent Drive second up in that flow, leader of the pack. They're then followed by towards the back of the pack, BJ Savannah, and then we're back to some of the breakers, including PC Heisenberg, Speed and Glide, and AJ Ricochet onto the back stretch. 3 high comes PC Silent Drive. Style Spotlight in between them, dropping back. Leader of the pack lunges to and is trying to catapult off cover while PC Silent Drive overtakes Cold Beer here to that final turn. Cold Beer here drops back as leader of the pack is ranging up to challenge PC Silent Drive. It's down to these two around the final turn. Then it's back a couple lengths to Style Spotlight fourth with BJ Savannah to the top of the stretch. PC Silent Drive with the advantage cuts the corner with leader of the pack chasing to the outside, and PC Silent Drive gonna hold him off. PC Silent Drive wins here by a length and a quarter at the end. Leader of the pack second. Up for third, Cold Beer here from BJ Savannah. 207-4.
Well, that's a 3 out of 4 there, yeah.
That's a carryover.
No, there's no carryovers here.
I was saying that's what I was saying to Rod.
Selections on YahooPicks.com.
1-9. Good for you, Rod.
I swore they didn't carry over at London.
They don't.
Yeah, they just pay 3 of 4.
Yes.
Which
that's all Canada. They don't carry pick 5, pick 4. They don't do that.
Unless
they
it's a
carry
jackpot.
high 5, but no pick 4s and pick 5s.
Terry Wilson filled me in on that at the break.
Well, this pick 4
and the pick 3 was only live to the 6
in this race.
What a strange bet.
Was it live to the 6 at 40-1? Well, that's numbers somebody's playing. That's goofy. What the heck was alive? Did it start with a 6 though?
Terry Wilson just texted me. He said, "You guys razzed Colin Kelly and Scott Young, and they went out and won."
I'm sorry that I missed Kelly. Kelly wasn't the horse that paid $100, was it?
No.
Okay, because that would be just absolute disaster.
Wait, was he?
Who? What?
Did he win the 7th or the 8th?
Colin Kelly?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He didn't win the 9th. He didn't win the 8th, and I don't think he won he won the 7th.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's right. He was on the front end.
Yeah. He wired him.
So what are we doing now?
Well,
We
Confederation
talking
Cup.
about next week? Did we talk about that yet?
We did, but there's also the Confederation Cup still to go.
No,
We'll
I'm
do
certainly not
Confederation
prepared
Cup.
for that.
We'll do Confederation Cup last.
What do you mean
We
last?
can
What
do
else?
it. I just gotta download the program.
What else is there to do? Oh, I sent it to you, Mike. It's in your email.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I've been busy. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
boys.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
failing you.
That's why I was letting you know you have PPs in your inbox.
I'm looking.
Oh, that sounded bad.
Mike's a doctor. He knew what I was talking about. Okay, so there's. Wait. You said we're gonna do Confederation Cup last. There's nothing else for us to do. We got the Mohawk show coming up next week, but
Yes. We're going to talk about the Mohawk show, what we're going to be doing.
well, I'm glad that you're preceding by saying we are gonna talk about this. It's a good.
Yeah.
It's a nice segue.
We have our plan right now. We're going to try to get to London in time to do some stuff there. We ain't going to do too much, but we're going to try to get there and have some fun with Sugar and the guys up there at London. I'll make my way down to the driver's room and harass those guys a little bit.
I'll try
They
and
don't
call
mind.
a.
They're all pretty cool.
I'll try and call a race.
Yes, we're going to try to get ready to call a race. Scott Young got a little antsy when Ray mentioned his double chin.
It's not my fault that he held the phone up.
What are you doing?
He held his phone up from his chest, and it just gave him the most unflattering angle. Like, I could tell he's a driver, not a cinematographer at that point.
Well, he gets all the hazing anyway, so that's fine. He's used to it.
Well, you can attest to that. That's just part of being a driver, because it's a sport. It's a sports thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a sports thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always somebody, and it can change race by race. If somebody does something stupid on the track, there's hazing going to be happening after that race.
That's typical adult behavior. I mean, typical male behavior.
I would say more
Anything.
male behavior than adult behavior.
But we're going to try to get to London on Friday night and hang out. I think Terry Wilson will be there. Terry, I know you're still listening. Text me if you're going to be there. And then Saturday, we're going to Mohawk, doing a show at Mohawk. Mike's going to be on the pregame show with Chad and Jay Porty. And then we're going to be handicapping intermittently on their feed throughout the night, like we did at the Meadowlands.
While also doing our show, which is yet to be determined where that's going to be located in vicinity to the set.
I'm hoping we're in the grandstands. That's where we want to be.
That's true.
And if you are going to Mohawk next week, which I know there's going to be quite a few of you listening that'll be there.
Preakness Day.
Preakness Day. There's going to be a ton of people out. There's fireworks after the races.
Race will be done by 10. What time's post? Is post earlier?
They usually start earlier.
Yeah. I don't know if it's 7:05 or before that.
And it's Victoria weekend.
Right after the race runs, about probably like 6:45. They start early for Derby. They were started like before 7.
Really? I thought they started at 7:05 Derby Day.
Well, that's still earlier than usual. I thought they were a little earlier. I could be wrong, but I thought they ran earlier.
Well, I was figuring if they're going to get the fireworks by 10, then they probably run around before 7.
I don't know.
I'm looking this up right now, going to woodbine-mohawkpark.com.
That's
I don't know
not
how
an
much
actual website.
information you're going to get.
Terry Wilson said he should be able to make it to London on Friday.
That date is May 18th, 2018. If you're
Yes.
if you're an American, make sure
That's
you have
Friday.
make sure you have a passport. We all do. We've been
We're going to Canada.
we've been granted
For
access.
Victoria weekend. Victoria weekend, we're going to be in Canada.
Mm-hmm. They
And
invited us.
the Queen herself did, yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish.
Because you
Can I
guys
send- Can I send the Queen an email and ask her to knight me?
why
No.
would the Queen use email?
No.
You think the Queen uses email?
There isn't even any queen.
Yeah, there is.
No.
Canada's a dominion of England. It's still technically
Yeah,
under
fair.
English rule.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Look it up.
Oh,
They're
God help
they're
me.
a dominion. I know this. Phil Hong can back me up on this. He taught me all
Well,
about this.
We need to get. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have Phil on the show.
Phil
we
will-
have to have Phil.
Phil Hong's gonna be there. He'll be our history buff.
Who else do we have? Rod, tell him.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got Phil. We've got the legendary Bill O'Donnell,
Mm-hmm.
who's going to be on our show at Mohawk next week. You're not going to want to miss that. We're going to get him on early too,
Because he's got to go to
and
bed.
we're going to try to get him to sign some shirts. We'll give away a few. Maybe we'll
I
bring
won't-
some back to the States to give away.
I won't toss him
What's,
like I did at the
Hey, are
pre.
you gonna call a race?
I got to talk to either Middleton or McKelvey or both of
They'll
them
let
about
you.
that. Yeah.
Probably still owes me dinner. He better have that stuff ready for me too, because I'm gonna be hungry.
Especially after our morning too, right, Rod? That morning.
What are we doing in the morning?
We might be golfing in the morning.
We might.
Wait,
We
it's,
might be.
it's might now?
Yes.
Ooh,
Is
sounds
it?
a little edgy.
Uh-oh. What?
No, we're trying to figure out all the details and get things done. It's kind of last minute, so we're trying to put stuff together as quickly as possible.
Last minute. We've only had the trip planned for like 6 months, but you know.
Well, the golf outing is kind of a last minute thing that was brought up to me
And I don't even
recently.
golf.
So we're gonna try to do that.
None of us are really that good a golfer anyway.
I'm pretty good.
You're not that. You think you're good at everything.
I bet you we go up there and I'll shoot an 80.
No chance. I'll bet you $1,000 you ain't shooting an 80.
I can barely shoot a gun. How can you shoot an 80?
When's the last time you picked up a club? You tell me you're gonna go there and shoot 80?
Last time he picked up a
Yesterday.
club was for dinner.
Come
He had to go hunting out of his cave.
that?
Well, I went to the range yesterday. I didn't go golfing.
Yes, he did.
It was too wet yesterday.
I
I
gotta
went to the range.
hit up a range.
Tiger Woods, Broad, Tiger, Allums, shooting 80 off the bench.
I'd compare Rod to Tiger for other reasons, but I'm not gonna get into that.
He wishes he was Tiger for that reason. He ain't.
Yeah, I wish I was.
debauchery everywhere. All the Bible Belt listeners are on board with me.
Let's do this Confederation Cup before I have to go to work.
I know we've just been BSing here, even though Mike's on paid time.
This is like your favorite thing to do, though, Ray. So I mean,
Mostly when
God
I
forbid we do anything with races.
have a direction for where to go. But like with the live shows, it's always kind of strange because so much of it is so impromptu because people find out we're there and they just hop on. That's kind of part of the fun of it. It's the sporadicness of all of it.
It always seems to work out too.
That's what podcasting's really about. If you prepare anything, then you don't have a show. However, something that is prepared, that is a show. That's a terrible segue, but Flamboro has some Confederation Cup eliminations. Two to be specific. 1 7-horse field, or 1 8-horse field, lining up. The first being the 10th race for Confederation Cup 50. Is it 50 or is that 40? I think it's 40. XL? I think that's Andrew's shirt size. No, come on. XL is 40.
If it was 50, it would just be L.
Which I would...
XL.
I take many of those. 7 lining up. We got Funkin' Waffles to the inside coming in from the Graduate Series, drawing the Rally's the morning line favorite. Western Joe leaving the Meadowlands for the first time in forever. He's the second choice at 5-2. Rod, I'm going to presume that you had a chance to look at this race, or at the very least, we've become familiar with some of these horses. And right off the bat, looking at this favorite, Funkin' Waffles to the inside, you try to beat him?
Yeah, I think you got to try to beat him. He doesn't have a ton of gate speed, so that's going to work against him over there at Flammy. The big thing is the early speed, because speed does hold well over there. So I'm going to take a chance and go with the horse I've been going with for quite a while.
Uh-oh.
He was scratched last time. Classic Pro.
Oh. On a
He
half?
drew inside. Yes. We've watched him win over there, and he's won on the half before, and he's raced against good horses on the half. I think he fits in this race well. Horse like Western Joe, I'm not keen on using, especially on the half. He does have speed, but he's one of those horses I'm not real big on using. He's going to need his own way on the front, and I don't think he's going to get it. But the early speed here, Maroma Beach, I think he probably goes again, but he's another one. He's okay. He's just facing cheaper horses.
Second to Barima. Couple starts. He was second to Barima a couple starts back, and Barima recently raced in the Van Rose Invitational.
Well, I'm just saying he's been facing cheaper horses recently, and now he's up against graduate horses. So it is a step up in class for him, and Classic Pro goes back home. It's his first start back in Canada. I think he's in a good spot early, 7-horse field. It's just going to be a crapshoot in that first turn, I think, with horses trying to get around Funkin' Waffles. But he might be in a decent spot if he decides to follow Funkin' Waffles. So either way, I think Trevor Henry's got options with this horse, and hopefully they get a fast track tomorrow to see what this horse can do against this level.
Well, part of me thinks that the race sets up for Maroma Beach. I'm not sure you'd agree with this, Mike, because Western Joe from the center is leaving out. That's how he races, and if Maroma Beach leaves out too, he gets the pocket.
It's true. The thing about Western Joe is, he's head and shoulders above these horses as far as recent form, and a lot of it. I mean, he has a lot of more, recent class than some of these others. I mean, a lot of these horses have been faltering at these graduate levels, like Rod said. Classic Pro I don't trust because of that 6 scratch last time, and even though the horse had drawn the second tier, the Pompano line is just okay for me. He's going to be way overbet in here, especially if the way you look at this race. He looks like the speed. It's hard to trust Maroma Beach just because the horse, doesn't necessarily have the class of some of the others. Western Joe's a definite Meadowlands lover. There's no doubt about that. But that was a massive race last time. He gets McNair. He's going to go. He just got picked off by Filibuster Hanover. That would be 1-5 in here. Prior to that, I mean, Highlighter ran a huge race to beat him in that 4-year-old Open. I feel like he's the best horse, and he could get ignored because of some of these others in here, like the 1, the 2, and the 3 that are going to take money. If McNair pops, and I like the fact that he's sitting on the horse, I feel like that he can control the race, and he's the best horse. So he would be, if you can get 3-1 on this horse, I think you should take it.
If he were sitting on the horse, he would be a jockey. However, I do agree with what you're saying. He definitely seems like he should be the favorite in this race over Funkin' Waffles, which I'm surprised. That's probably only just because of the posts, but really, post 5 isn't that bad at Flamboro. But
that's true. I agree.
One horse that is interesting to me as a price, not necessarily for the win end, but possibly exotics. The 7 Bags to Riches hasn't been racing terribly. That last race in particular was very good, going first over against Filibuster Hanover, even though he was...
Actually, he had a perfect trip in that race. I mean, if you watch it back, he had a perfect trip.
Well, I was going to say he went first over when the pace was slowing, but still, he held on there. He was third at 29-1, and he could potentially get carried into the mix again, and he could at least be there at a price. He's not going to take play from the 7.
No, he's probably going to be the longest shot in the race.
Even though Hurricane Beach should be that, because this horse, I don't know what happened to him. After the North America Cup consolation, this horse has tailed off completely.
Yeah, he's got something going on. I'm not real sure. Yeah, I mean, he got beat by non-winners of 4 last week, and he got beat bad.
And they're probably here just because they're paid in, and he could possibly bounce. I'd be interested to know how he's training and such. But I I was not on features this week at Standardbred Canada. That said, though, Western Joe is the theoretical winner of this race. He's flat out the best horse in this field. However, Maroma Beach could win off a trip, but if Maroma Beach is anything under like 7 or 8 to 1, I wouldn't even bother. If Western Joe's 3 to 1, then definitely use him on top, because that's value in that case. I'd honestly be surprised if Funkin' Waffles goes off the favorite.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, though. It's the second start back for this horse. He drew the rail. I expect him to take money.
Well, take money, but not be the favorite.
And he still raced well last time. It wasn't a bad race, and it was his first start of the year, so I give him the excuse there. So, and that's kind of why I'm on Classic Pro. It's a second start of the year. The first start was at Pompano. I usually stay off horses coming from Pompano, but he basically just went straight up to Canada. He's had some time to recoup. He has missed 4 weeks, but I'm going to take a chance there and use him. I'm not saying key off of him. I'm saying use him. He's going to bring some value.
I think exotics-wise, Bags to Riches could bring some value. Western Joe could certainly, if he doesn't go off the favorite, will be value. But the race could also sub for Maroma Beach. But if he's not the right price, I wouldn't even bother betting him, just for class reasons. Although, interesting note, he's also off Lasix. Don't know why. It's interesting.
Because Lasix, you're allowed to give a different medication in Canada, which is why you don't see a lot of horses on Lasix up there.
All right. Interesting note. Doesn't mean much to me now because we're on the second division, which Mike had to go to work. We wish him the best of luck. I heard this time he's performing a C-section on octuplets, so hopefully he'll make it through that. But we have octuplets going here. 8 horses in the second elimination for the Confederation Cup, and of course, everyone's gonna be betting Filibuster Hanover off that mile. That was a great race he put in first time off the bench. Not really a surprise. This horse really began to pop late in the season last year. The question that comes with every race is, as the favorite, do we try to beat him?
I don't think so. I think against this group, he's like 2 steps above the rest of these right now. I don't mind Bloodline from the rail, but he didn't put in a really good effort his first start back. But I'm going to go with Filibuster on top here. But the other player that I like a little bit is Art Scene. He didn't race that well last time. He is a little bit cheap, but I mean, for this year, he's been a little bit cheaper. But last year, he made a ton of money. He faced the best all year long. I think if he gets put into the right spot, he should be a nice price play to use. And he's got Louis Wass, so he's going to go early. But from the looks of it, the outside horses are not going to go because the 3 favorites are inside.
Mm-hmm.
So the other one I would suggest throwing in there is Rockin' Tony, who I was on last week, and he just got beat. He raced really well, just couldn't finish, and that was a tough 1 1/8 in that race, and they were sprinting home. He just he was a little bit more tired than the rest of them. The 8-hole obviously is the drawback, but this horse, he does just fine on the smaller tracks. So I would throw him on. You're going to get a little bit of a price on him.
Yeah, the Filibuster Hanover definitely seems like one of those favorites that it just should win this race. There's 2 contenders I marked outside of him. The one being the 4 Red John, coming in off a win against Nowers of 7 over at Woodbine. And he did that off a pocket trip, albeit he also sat off a fast pace, which ultimately probably helped him win that race, which makes me think if he's coming in here, he'd need to sit up close again, which he certainly could. but I'm not sure he'd be able to out-sprint Filibuster Hanover. But then again, that's why Filibuster Hanover is going to be the favorite and not Red John. Red John might be a decent price, though, if you really feel like trying to bet against Filibuster Hanover. He's definitely worth a stab. But if this race also sets up as a closer affair because the 3 does have speed and has collapsed before, the 4 has speed, the 1 has speed, and the 2 has speed. Then Damir, he's more of an obvious one, but this horse races really well from off the pace. He's usually up there to at least get second or third. I definitely see this horse at least making the final. Exotics-wise, though, he's probably going to be fairly cheap because he is that obvious to use for second and third, especially the fact he's 4-1 on the morning line as well. But I think if I was playing this race, and I might be. It depends on. I won't. I might be in my plane at this point. But I'd play a triple key of Filibuster over Red John and Damir. Like, that's the first thing that's coming to mind, because Red John's gonna be a decent price. He'll help make that pay a bit more. Damir should be there, and I think Art Scene and Bloodline are just not gonna get up there at all.
Well, I mean, Bloodline's got the advantage of the rail. You know he's going to be going.
Yeah, but he has no horse.
He didn't race very good last time, but he's one of those. I don't want to say he's one-dimensional, but he's got to leave early, and he's got to kind of be let loose early, because he can get a little bit hot, but he'll calm down when he does get a lead early, and I think maybe he can get that in this race. Filibuster doesn't have a ton of gate speed, so I think he's going to be content with sitting in the pocket. He's just going to be tough to beat.
I just remember watching all 3-year-old season last year that Bloodline had so many chances to win, and he just could not do it. And that last race, sure, it was his first start back, but he just seems cheaper than these horses, in form at least. He hasn't done anything to really make me think that he could improve from his 3-year-old season to his 4-year-old season. He's been fairly stagnant in that sense, at least compared to Filibuster, who has just been flat out improving. But that's, again, obvious. I don't sound smart for saying that, because any jerk could read the program and go, "Oh, this horse is gonna win." He's 7-5 for that reason.
Yeah, I think he deserves to be bet in this race, and I think he is the best horse. But, I mean, I don't mind Red John there.
He's interesting.
Damir, I'm not a big fan of this horse. He raced okay last time, had no chance to win the race.
Mm-hmm. He raced really well in that sense.
I think you can use him underneath as well. I would be one to just play a try, maybe go 2 with a 3-4 with 1 3-4-5. That would probably be the bet that I would play.
That was so many numbers. Mine was so much simpler. Try.
Yeah, but you only play like $1 a race.
Yeah, but you know what? That's efficiency. That's efficient play. The Filibuster over Red John Damir tri-key, beautiful. I might even punch that before I board my flight, because I'm not going to pay for the Wi-Fi. What am I, nuts?
Rock and Tony, you can throw him in. This might be one of those races where you just hit the all button underneath somewhere.
You don't have to.
You just hope you get the price.
I wouldn't even do that. However, right now I'm going to tell you who's going to make the final. All right? From the first elim, Funkin' Waffles, definitely. Funkin' Waffles going to make the final. Western Joe, definitely going to make the final. That's 2. So we have 2 more out of this race. I'm gonna venture to say that Classic Pro. Bags to Riches probably. I want Bags to Riches to hit the top 3 for a price. However, I think he could. If there's something wrong with Classic Pro, because he's a free-legged pacer and on a half-mile track that doesn't necessarily bode too well. But
he's good. He's good on a half.
He is, but he could also just not have things go his way first back. So first elimination, I think the top 4, not in this order. Funkin' Waffles, Western, Joe Bagstorches, Roma Beach. So from the second elimination, Filibuster, yes. Red John, yes. Damir, yes. And then, who's the fourth horse then? It's either gonna be Odds on Delray or Rockin' Tony.
I'll say in the second division, you got Filibuster, Art Scene, Red John.
You really think Art Scene's gonna? I think Art Scene's gonna drop out completely.
No.
That last race is not really get me on board.
And then Bloodline.
I'll say, yeah, Bloodline could certainly make
The
it
inside
final.
4. That's where I'm going there.
Why do I say this? Because at Flamboro Downs, if you direct message them at Flamboro Downs and try to predict the 8 finishers at the Confederation Cup, you can win a VIP trip to the final. That's right. That includes dining. That includes not flights, I don't think. I just saw this contest today, and I wanted to promote it because Flamboro Downs has always been good to me and good to the show as well. And if you can pick close to the correct 8 horses to compose the Confederation Cup final, you could possibly win that VIP experience at Confederation Cup 40 next Sunday at Flamboro Downs. That said, I have been Ray Cotolo. He's Rod Allums Jr. Mike Pribozie was with us earlier. That does it for this week's show. Next week, we are not live Friday night, but we are live Saturday. Why? Because we're at Woodbine Mohawk Park doing a live show starting. I don't know when post time is yet, but we will know around next week. We just know that we're going to be there, and we know that you should be tuning in on SRN1 as well as on our video feeds on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, Twitch TV. For all you gamers out there, we're in the game now.
Also, when we stop at London on Friday, I will have Facebook Live on my Facebook. So if you're not friends with me on Facebook, get on there. We'll post it on the website as well when we get up there. And we're going to kind of mess around a little bit.
Because
have some fun.
Which, I mean, we have fun all the time. You never know when we are doing a show and when we aren't doing a show, except mostly with curse words. That's a good sign to know if there's no show going on. But tonight proved otherwise. That said, I have been Ray Cotolo, Rod Allums Jr., Mike Pribozie. We will see you next week from Canada at Woodbine Mohawk Park. But until then, board your flights, board your car, board wherever it is that you take motion and ride that baby over the hilltop to wherever it might take you.